Hey everybody, and welcome to preseason week two's Endcast. I am your host, Orange, and with me is Anthony, and it's only us
Hey,
two.
yeah, just us. Maybe someone might drop by in a little bit, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe. So, we have some stuff to talk about.
It's Naruto
Starting
related.
with, I know. I
Ooh.
mean, who could fucking guess? So I guess we can just jump right into this and start talking about last week's matches because we had some really good ones.
Yeah, and
So,
Taka versus Cloud was the first one.
yeah, this is really close
Yeah.
actually.
Besides my
Um,
match, I think it was my favorite of the week.
well, yeah, obviously, but Taka, yeah, Taka. It didn't look too good for Taka at first, I gotta say, which was kind of surprising to me, but I had a feeling that Cloud's loss the week before last week was kind of a fluke.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm kind of glad it was because
Jinchuriki OP.
we saw a really great performance from them this week, and
Yeah.
I'd love to see more of that from them.
Yeah, like
But
Udakata was doing stuff, Dari was hitting his ultimates.
yeah, he was, and that's always cool to see. I'm glad someone's trying to make use of Utakata.
Yeah, really.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. If Byrne were here, he'd be able to share his thoughts on his team, but
Yeah.
from what I know, he wasn't too impressed with the damage on EMS Sasuke's tilt, even when boosted, because, I mean, apparently that got nerfed at some point, because I remember
Well,
when this
yeah.
game launched, it was doing a lot more damage.
Yeah, it was doing massive
Um,
damage whenever we were doing the pseudo league. Like
yeah,
he like almost took out an entire team basically all by himself.
yeah, but I'm kind of glad they did nerf it, though. That's
Yeah.
some crazy high damage potential right there. But of course, he still got his ult,
Yeah.
and
That's a huge
I mean,
hitbox.
he did hit with that a couple times. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, both teams did really well. I was glad to see um, Cloud doing really well. Also, that damage on Third Raikage's
Oh yeah.
boosted tilt is
Just
insane.
and just the health drops.
Yeah, and yeah, Daru did really well.
Did they
Was
disable Dari's tilt?
was
His
yes they
surfing
did.
jutsu? Yeah. That's good because I know Toby Rama
Yeah,
also had that and he did pretty poor with that. So I doubt Dari would have been good with it.
yeah, yeah, and as for the rest of Taka, I mean, Suigetsu is a little bit less aggressive this week, but like Bern and I were
Yeah.
saying before, um, it could just be the team. It really could.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it seems like team makeup really affects AI quite a fair bit this season,
Yeah, that's
and
something I've
I mean
definitely
that's
noticed.
totally fine.
It just
Yeah,
means more
it's gonna
strategy,
be
like and like who to pair with
exactly.
who, when to use them. Like it's all like good. It makes the move seem even more like you're gaining more than losing more.
All right, because then you can see certain matchups more easily. You can be like, oh
hmm
god, they're sending out this team now, and this team's really good, and
So let's hope this
we're
character
gonna
is
have to
tagged in to fight this character, and then that character tags out to fight that character, like stuff like that.
right exactly. And speaking of team uh, composition in terms of AI, we have Hokage versus Sand, and the reason I bring that up is because Hokage really just had a
Yeah.
rough time of it. I think they got swept, actually.
Yeah, they did by Gaara and Tamari.
Yeah, which that's an amazing combo right there.
Yeah, I know.
But Boruto really wasn't doing much, and
Yeah.
I believe he was in almost every lineup
I can
they
check real
had.
quick. But
Okay.
yeah, he was doing pretty poor, and Tamari's damage was just
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Tamari was doing all the right things, and Gara wasn't too bad either. And it was really nice to see that combo do well.
And yeah, Boruto was in all three of the lineups.
Yeah, and that's you're gonna see a running theme with that in a few matches this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it sucked to see Hokage beaten so badly, but at the same time, they both of their big hitters from the previous week were out
Yeah.
this time.
And,
So we
and
got to see their other members that they don't have as much
yeah.
testing with.
And plus, it's kind of like representative to show that Hidden Sand isn't Kage for a reason, and Hokage isn't Genin for a reason. They like
Yeah.
Sand, like both teams still have a lot to figure out, but like Sand, it's just like their characters are performing better in their builds. They seem like a
Yeah.
little easier to make, especially for Tamari. Like range fighters probably have like stable stuff like defense +2, attack
Yeah.
-1, and all that.
Although, I would be interested to see what liberties some people take with ranged builds, because there's more you can do with them, but
Yeah, but that just
I
seems like
mean,
the safest way to go.
it's the safest. But yeah, Sand did really well, and I
They
was
really
hoping
did.
to see more Konkoro, but
Yeah, so am I.
that Gara and
Yeah.
Tamari was really, really good.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was benched that week anyway. They were testing out they were trying to test
Oh,
out
okay.
PTS, Tamari, and Donzo as well, but that was like that was the
Yeah,
one
I
they
really
wanted
wanted to
info
see
on,
PTS Tamari as
but
well. Yeah.
they never got to them because Tamari and Gara too OP. Nerf.
Yeah.
Nerf.
I'm hoping Hokage Naruto does a little bit better as well.
Yeah, so
Because, yeah, I want him to do well. But yeah, this was just I mean, it's kind of a slaughter, to be honest.
Yeah, not
and,
gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, you can blame that on just them not knowing how to use Boruto yet, which is fair,
Yeah.
because
It's
if you
only
have a
been 2
character here
weeks.
that, yeah, and they have a lot of time. They still have 2 more weeks to try to figure him out.
Yeah.
And I would say definitely try to disable some stuff on him and probably give him 5-element seal, because his ultimate is not very good.
Yeah, it doesn't go that far.
And he likes using it a lot, so that
Yeah.
kind of sucks up his chakra.
And maybe it would hit more often, but he was up against a range fighter who kept getting away. So maybe you shouldn't try
exactly
5 seal whatever until just to make sure he doesn't hit that often with it first.
I'm wondering if it'll make him more aggressive, though. Because
Yeah.
I mean that seems so.
Yeah.
If it worked for Suigetsu, then it could work for Boruto.
Yeah, it's doing wonders for Suigetsu for burn.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah. I mean, we said that in the match too, but I would say try that at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that was that match. It was alright.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway,
It was
Matt,
okay.
yeah, I mean, 6.5 out of 10 maybe. And our next match is Sound versus Sage, with Sage losing at the
God.
4th round. I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah, I know. Sage won at the 4th round, shocking everyone worldwide.
I know that 4-round curse is still there, but it's just the other way around.
It's reversed, but it's just the preseason, so I wouldn't get my hopes up yet.
Those Rasengans
Yeah.
were amazing, and they were everywhere.
Yeah, all 3 of them in their first lineup: Naruto, Massive Rasengan Barrage, Sage Naruto, and Jiraiya. Like, ugh, it was everywhere.
So much.
I would love to see them do that again
amazing.
and give everyone chakra savers and chakra boosts,
God.
so it's just everywhere.
Please, no. Yeah, and they would be able to, because you can use 3 of those. So,
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah. Ultimate Chakra Saber is limited to 2, but regular is
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Also,
Yeah.
I also want to say, Sage Naruto Ultimate +2, Jesus Christ, that damage.
was amazing. Yeah.
I know, it just
Sage looks like a
obliterated.
bunch of ultimate spammers this season.
Yeah,
Like,
especially Hashirama and Sage Naruto.
yeah, that's great for them. I do want to see Sage Mo Kabuto though, because
Yeah,
we
so
haven't
do
gotten
I.
to see him yet. Yeah, but I feel like some of the reason why Sound did so poorly, and I believe we said this in the match, they had Sasuke in every lineup, and he
Yeah.
had a defense -1.
Yeah, so he's just
So
taking all that damage.
yeah, plus he seemed to like to stay out more often
Yeah.
than not.
And he kept on
That or they just had smaller teams with him in it.
uh
But
I'm looking at Sound.
yeah,
Actually,
he wasn't in every single match. He was in 2 out of 3, but
wait, which Sasuke did you say was in every 3? Was in all 3?
none of them was. But
Yeah.
Heavy Sasuke was in 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and he had the defense -1.
Yes.
All
And I
right.
feel like that hurt them a fair bit.
Yeah.
But Tayuya did well again.
Yeah, and she went like
she
Awakening
went
twice,
Awakening.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one was just a regular by herself, and another one was a team awakening.
Oh yeah, I remember the team one, because it was like a Susanoo.
Yeah. So I mean, that was impressive. I'd like to see a fun awakening build on her. Would be interesting.
Yeah, since now it seems like she's like liking to do them. So if they can just take advantage of that, and she can just like go Awakening, put on some massive damage, probably getting a win because of it. But and it's the preseason, so it's the perfect time to try stuff like that out.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, Sage just seems so solid. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
I always kind of felt bad for them last season because they were struggling for a fair amount of it, and suffering from that curse.
Yeah, it was getting a little bit depressing to be honest, but
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It seems they're making a huge comeback.
Yeah, definitely. And this was a good match. I know it was probably frustrating for Hidden Sound to watch, but
yeah. But I'm sure they got a lot of info out of it.
Yeah, I think that's the most important takeaway here. If you get info, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's preseason.
Yeah.
You know, winning is not important.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I will say that I enjoyed it a lot more than Kage versus Sand, though.
Yeah, it was a much closer match despite only being 4 rounds, but
right.
It was very entertaining. Yeah. Rasengans, Awakenings.
Yeah, very dynamic match.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess next we'll move on to Akatsuki versus Sage. Akatsuki having
Akatsuki versus Uchiha.
I mean Uchiha, not Sage. Jesus. Yeah. I was looking at the schedule, and the first week was Akatsuki versus Sage, and it's right above Akatsuki versus Uchiha.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Another good match. I feel like Uchiha had the upper hand the whole time, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Which is, I mean, Akatsuki is another team that's trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, they lost their 2 star players in the contention matches.
Exactly. And
so they're like
I
working
could tell they were
it.
probably counting on having at least one of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't have either. So
I mean,
I will say that I liked Kakuzu a lot this week.
His grab damage.
His grab damage is amazing. Yeah. Hidam was better.
Yeah.
I liked, but I feel like Nagato took up the time on the field the most, and he did the least.
And he was in all 3 lineups.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's unfortunate for them. I will say that I don't think he's a lost cause because it's only the 2nd week of preseason. I would definitely suggest try disabling his tilt, because he uses it all the time, and while it's an amazing tilt, Pain also has that tilt, and he doesn't spam it quite as much.
Yeah.
And he's a better fighter, so he can keep that, I think.
And if he's taking a lot of damage, I would recommend a defense +1 or +2, and see
Yeah,
how he
it
does
could
with
be
that.
an idea. He did hit a few ultimates
Yeah, and he had
this week.
ultimate
I think
plus
he hit
2.
like 2. Yeah, I don't know if ultimate plus 2 is the way to go on him.
Yeah.
It could be decent. He does have a passive chakra plus 1 because of Uzumaki, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting build. I wasn't really expecting an ultimate plus on him, to be honest.
Mm. Well, it's a good
But yeah,
ultimate. It stays out a
it
while.
is.
And was he
You know,
pretty
it was
spammy with it in the contention match? And no, and he wasn't in week 1, so was he pretty
um
spammy with it?
in the contention match. I think he used it like once or twice.
Uh,
He did hit with a team ult in the contention match, I think.
uh,
So, yeah. I mean, I guess that's where they kind of got that from.
Alright.
I don't know if it's a reliable. I mean, he likes it, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a reliable build for him. Even though his ultimate's not terrible, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very reliable in hitting. Just because it is so slow, and
Yeah.
the opponent basically has to derp to get hit by it.
Yeah, like walk into it.
Yeah, like Sarada, she air dashed into it.
Yeah. And on the topic of Sarada, she hits with a lot of ultimates in comparison.
Yeah, she hits with a lot herself, which I mean, it makes sense because her ultimate's a lot better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things to take away from this is that Uchiha didn't have Shisui in, and they still did really well, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because so far it seems like Shisui is probably their best fighter, but
Everyone on Uchiha seems like their best fighter.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can't even think if they have a worst.
It's hard to say. At the moment, maybe Unmasked Obito, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see more from them, I think, before I can. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
So we have a match number 5, good sir.
Oh,
and both know
Asuma
this
versus
one.
Jinchuriki. Me versus you.
Yes.
It was a great match.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling that you had won because you weren't fucking being a depressive asshole afterwards.
Shut up.
I'm just joking.
Regardless if I won or lost or any other result, I wouldn't talk about it because that would spoil it for anyone. Because I don't think I'm very subtle when it comes to that.
No. But I mean, it turned out to be a better match than I thought it would.
Oh.
Because at first it seemed. At first, I felt like we weren't getting much data on Jinchuriki's side of things, but the match kind of evened out over time, which I was thankful for, because I didn't want to have another week of not getting any data, and I'm glad we did get more this time.
Yeah.
We got to see all 3 of our lineups.
Yeah.
We basically used the same ones that we did last week with some variations.
Not really. Not me. Asuma and Yamato.
No.
Oh, you.
We did.
Whenever you said we, I thought you meant me and you. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Asuma did really well. I was surprised by Shikamaru, actually.
Yeah, he was actually doing pretty decent. PTS Shikamaru, not so much.
Yeah, I feel like maybe like a 5 elements could be an interesting idea on him.
Oh, I gave it to both Shikamaru for next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
But we can save time out next week for whenever we get to later discussion.
Good match. I'm glad it came close because I would like to see all the lineups and the best that they can be, and I mean it was close, which was nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got past. Oh, I'm sorry. You go on.
Oh no, I was pretty much done with my statement. I was
Oh,
just saying um, that I was glad it came close because we actually got to see more of our fighters for longer.
gotcha. What I was trying to say is, I'm surprised we got past Obito and Gaara with the double defense plus two, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to try more of that because
Yeah,
it's a really interesting setup, and I don't know if Obito and Gar is the best team for
yeah.
it.
I'd
There could
suggest
be other ones.
probably using Kushina or Fu with the defense plus two instead.
Yeah, maybe. I think I don't know. I might want to try Naruto as well, but I just have to see.
Still have two
But yeah,
weeks.
that's true. And technically, you can use that same build as well because of Choji. You could do
Oh
something
yeah,
similar.
I was
Um,
thinking about it.
yeah, it's an interesting option for anyone who actually has it. Um,
Yeah, a
so
natural defense plus one. Because if you do that, you can have a lineup with two characters with. I'm sorry, two characters with two defense plus two.
yeah, so I mean that's pretty good. I mean it's not exactly defense plus two on both because
Well, it's not
uh
a full plus
the
one, right?
characters, yeah, it's like a, I would say it's like a point 0.8, so
Yeah,
it's close enough.
yeah.
Um,
Close enough to just say
it
plus
wouldn't
one.
make, yeah, it wouldn't make as much of a difference at that point, but
Yeah,
it is there, so I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that.
hmm
Um, but yeah, definitely a good match.
yeah. And before we move on, I just want to say that Pack Rat on Choji also really helped, and I hope that a lot of teams look into using that on a character that has ointment, so they have three chances to heal.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that,
Actually, I was thinking after you used that this week, I was thinking maybe like it could be worth trying to put it on Toby Rama because he used items really well too.
yeah,
Like I think he used three of his slots up,
that's
and
good.
that's pretty amazing. If you have a character that items, then I would say yeah, Pack Rat's a good option.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's on like, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel it would be best to use on the person that's opening like the entire match, rather than give it
Yeah,
to someone that's like in the first lineup but not opening, but opening on the second one, because that just feels like a waste of space.
that's true. Yeah, it's better to get that out when you can, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much all I have to say about that one.
All right. Well, would you mind introducing the next match, match 6?
Kakashi versus Kurenai. Uh, actually, I enjoyed this one a lot. I felt bad for Team Kakashi, but
Yeah. I blame
um,
Sasuke.
Kurenai tried. Sasuke did well though.
Yeah,
I
but he.
was I was impressed. He could use disabling something.
Yeah. Well, the reason I blame him is
Probably his
because
charge too.
yeah, that definitely. But the reason I blame Sasuke is because he keeps putting him in an awakening build, but he never goes awakening.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. He was really aggressive with melee, so
Yeah.
maybe that could be good.
I mean,
Um,
PTS Sakura was in all three, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, she was. She wasn't doing too
yes,
bad.
he
It's
was.
just
That's not surprising.
PTS Sakura is love. But she has ultimate plus two, but it's like she's like season 1 through 3 Zabuza again. It just isn't connecting. But
I
when it
mean,
does,
yeah, but when it does,
yeah,
yeah,
it makes it
it's like
worth
a
it.
nuke.
And then
Yeah,
go on.
Kakashi did well.
Yeah, he did okay.
Although I feel like he didn't get much time, actually,
Yeah,
which
because
is a shame because I mean that a lightning blade boosted by water would have been great to see more often, but uh, the other characters just kept taking the field more often and for longer.
Yeah. And he also had
So, I mean,
Fireball whenever he opened in the second lineup, which isn't
yeah,
a bad thing since it's a projectile jutsu, but still, I would have taken advantage of the water and probably went with a Water Dragon.
yeah. Or I mean, I feel like still Lightning Blade better than Water Dragon though, 'cause it's just a better jutsu.
Well, I agree, but they don't really have much ranged jutsus. They have Sasuke and PTS Sakura.
True, true. But he does like to use his enhanced jutsu as well. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's something Team Kakashi's gonna have to figure out, but I did like what we saw of them this week.
Yeah,
And
same.
Kurenai at first looked a little bit more shaky
Uh-huh.
because PTS Kiba wasn't doing what he was doing before. PTS Shino was being kind of iffy,
Yeah.
but that Shino and Gara combo
Yeah.
alone,
Just
they did the same
destroyed.
thing that we did, and it worked out really, really well for them. Which actually, Sand could do that too. Now that I'm thinking about it, with Gara and Tamari.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And
Oh no!
and it's so fitting too because it's a ranged character rather than just another
Yeah.
character like Obito that needs to be up close.
Yeah, that kind of build. Oh god. Yeah, it worked really, really well for Kurenai. I hope to see more of that from them. I know they might want to try more stuff during preseason, but they might want to get that combo out against more teams just to see how it does. So
Yeah.
if they do that, I would be interesting to see how that pans out because I really like that team.
Yeah. And I want to make a suggestion right now because I know I'm going to forget later. On 5 Kage Summit Gar, you have Defense +1, Berserker, and Ultimate Dash. If I had to change anything, I would recommend getting Berserker off 5 Kage Summit Gar, because whenever he attacks someone guarding, he only does 3 hits. So, it isn't the
Yeah.
best move. It isn't the best scroll to have on someone like him.
Unless you give him something like Sand Shower if he's out first.
They
That would be
gave him that.
amazing.
Oh, then I take that
okay.
back.
So maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe that's what they were trying to do. But
Yeah.
as a general build though, I do agree with you. I don't know what you would give him in turn. Maybe
Ultimate Grab.
Yeah, that seems like the
A staple.
build.
Because it's like the best grab in the game.
One of, yeah, definitely.
I can think of him, Ino, and maybe Konkuro, and those are like the best grabs I can think of.
In my opinion, I think Rinnegan Sasuke is.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about him.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
never
Sasuke,
uses
so.
it so far in the league, so
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, really, I mean, a really good showing from both teams. That, like I said before, that Shino and Gara combo really won it for Kurenai, though. I don't know if they would have won it if not for that team.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to say because I believe that was their second team. I don't think we got to see all 3 of their teams.
What? No, that was the closing lineup for Kurenai.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
okay.
they counter swept.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have won if not for that then.
Yeah, I really don't think they would have.
Kakashi wasn't doing badly. Like, they were doing alright.
Yeah, it's just like
I don't know.
Hinata seems to be doing fine, and Shippuden and Kiba does too, but I just feel like if they were in rather than Gara and Shino that match, that Kurenai wouldn't have been able to pull the reverse sweep.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't think anybody would have seen that combo working so well, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely, I know Buzz is probably going to want to use that a lot now.
Especially in the main league.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. Anything else to say about that match?
No, I think that's about it.
Alright, and I'm so sorry I keep cutting you off.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Alright. So, match 7. Guy versus Minato, with Minato taking the win. Uh,
This was probably, in terms of matches, probably the least entertaining to me this week, just
eh,
because I really wanted Guy to do a lot better than they did,
yeah,
and it just wasn't happening for them this week, which
yeah.
is sad.
I would have preferred
I mean,
Peaches
I'm
and
happy for
Neji
Minato, but
be in more than just the opening lineup, so they could like use him more and
yeah.
get more testing, since that was like their first time even using him. Instead,
Also, I know guys want Guy to awaken, but it just seems like it's not happening for him.
yeah, it's just
Um,
I just drop him.
plus, I don't know if it's a good idea
If what?
in terms of stats. Like, I don't know if it's a good idea because Guy and Lee both have like pretty much a negative plus a negative chakra. So,
Oh,
I mean, yeah, it's not quite a chakra -1. It's close.
yeah,
So, trying to get them to awaken is a little bit iffy because their
yeah,
charge rate is so slow.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but I mean, if he does awaken, that would be quite quite the powerhouse.
yeah, definitely,
But it just seems like he's not doing it.
yeah. And for Team Minato, I was really happy to see Rin and Obito win because they were both benched last week,
Yeah,
and they were
and
both
they
doing
both
pretty
did
decent.
well.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah,
Kid Obito is hitting with all those ultimates, surprisingly,
I know.
with
I
five
really
element
wasn't
seal.
expecting. Yeah, he still loves that ultimate no matter what. But yeah, I was really surprised. I'm not surprised, but I was probably just not expecting the use of both Rin and Obito in one week. But I'm glad that they did because it was a response from both.
Yeah, and Minato still won despite benching Kakashi and Madara. Well, double Sharingan Kakashi and Madara. So
Yeah,
I
which
feel
at this moment, I don't know how good double Sharingan Kakashi is because I just in the first week, I feel like we saw more Madara than him, but
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just I still feel like I still don't have a strong I don't have an opinion on double Sharingan Kakashi because like in the pseudo league that I was taking care of, like he never really impressed me. Like he was just kind of there in my opinion. But if Dimension can
Yeah,
do something with him, then good for him. But
yeah,
I
and there's still time.
yeah, yeah. And I like I can definitely see the potential in Rin and Kid Obito, and I feel like all six of their
Oh,
members could be great. It's just like maybe it could be a team where they use all six members, but just like rotate them out during different trimesters for like better matchups and stuff.
yeah, I could see them being one of those teams.
I'd kill to be one of those teams.
I know. Um, but yeah, I mean, really solid performance from Minato. I'm wondering how different it would have been if Guy had performed a little bit better.
Yeah,
It
maybe.
probably would have been a much better match.
Yeah, maybe they would have won if they gave Guy a non-awakening build, a build he could actually
Maybe.
use. Because it was basically.
Honestly, though,
Uh,
no, it's okay. You can continue.
Alright, I was gonna say, because basically with the build they gave him, released power and lasting energy, he was basically fighting with no build since he never took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I don't know. I would maybe suggest giving Guy and Lee like ultimate dash or something because
Yeah,
I believe they have faster than normal dashes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So I know Guy at least has a faster than normal ninja dash. So it would be interesting to give him like air step or something.
Yeah, just like get it like just right in their face the entire match.
Yeah, in a melee build because he did do a lot of melee.
Yeah,
It just wasn't boosted, so yeah. And Lee, I mean, melee build is cool on him and all, but his ultimates are awesome. And I think maybe one of these weeks trying to give him an ultimate, at least an ultimate +1, because
Yeah.
an ultimate +2 on him would make his chakra charge rate absolutely abysmal.
Yeah,
So I don't
really.
know. Um, but really good ult. He still hits it pretty often. So
Yeah, because he just
I
like
just
runs right at him.
yeah, I want to see more from the Nejis, to
Yeah,
be
so do
honest.
I.
Um, Shippuden Neji tried a surprising amount of ults.
Did he?
Like
I don't
I
remember.
wasn't expecting. He did like I think he did like 4 or 5,
Oh.
and that's interesting. He didn't hit with any of them though, so
Not
maybe
not
5 element
surprisingly.
seal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a crappy ult.
And like
um,
I feel like Neji has a lot more potential now that he has Air Palm as a potential jutsu.
yeah,
'Cause I
I think
could
so too.
fight,
Which
or I could rotation.
I remember that. Remember that he has that. Because I don't know if they know that he does, but if you don't, now you do. So there you go.
Hmm.
But yeah, PTS Neji was decent. I would have wanted to see more from him though, like you said.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see good things from Guy in the coming weeks because it's really kind of weird to see them struggling after last season.
Yeah, really.
It's really
After
weird to
they
me.
won last season.
Yeah,
But
but yeah,
despite that, I still feel like they have the potential to do really good.
yeah, and I know I said that this match was probably the least entertaining for me, but I feel like both teams got some really good info out of it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's good. That's really the most important thing in preseason.
Yeah,
Um,
really. It really is.
Still though, even though yeah, even though it was the least exciting match for me personally, it still wasn't a bad match.
Yeah,
And
not in the slightest.
I just want to clarify. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Okay, so last match is Hidden Stone versus Hidden Mist, a another sweep, which
Oh.
was this was a kind of a surprising sweep to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Same.
I know I predicted Stone to win last week, but I wasn't expecting them to win like this. This was something else.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like, I did not expect a lineup with Onoki in it to ever sweep.
yeah,
He seems,
Oniki was surprisingly good,
yeah, he seems to be doing really good in this game compared to 3.
which is great. That's awesome that Hidden Stone can actually utilize him now. And Datara, with
Yeah,
his tilt
Datara.
disabled, is much better.
Yeah. Defense +2,
Moo was
Chakra
good too.
Saver, and Shuriken Master. That is a great build.
It
Because
is, yeah.
that bird
And
jutsu
yeah,
makes
the birds
everything
are
go
good.
boom.
And Onoki and Moo both had air step, which we know what that can do now with characters
Yeah.
that have that levitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I feel like most of the reason Mist got swept was because just the roster they were using.
Yeah.
Gengetsu's not being solid. Kisame's not being as aggressive as normal. Maybe disable his grab as well. And maybe, I mean, I know this is heresy, but once the main season comes around, maybe disable his enhanced jutsu.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know, I know I just went there. But
I. Whoa.
yeah, I don't know. It's just an idea.
uh,
It could work.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one.
Or you could try to make him a jutsu spammer with Chakra Saver and just
Yeah.
chakra stuff. Could be an idea.
And his
But yeah,
ultimate's
there are
great
a lot
too.
of ways. Yeah, there are a lot of routes you can go with him. So don't just try melee builds for him.
Yeah, and
Try to do other stuff as well.
on the topic of that, I also want to say for every other captain or whatever team, don't just try one thing on one person all the time. Try to mix it up because you might find gold.
Yeah, you might find something that can also work. You can have two builds that work on one character, and that opens up more opportunities for other characters to use other builds.
Yeah.
And you can spread your scrolls out more that way. So
And not be
yeah,
predictable.
exactly. And I think that's going to be a big thing this season because, I mean, not too many scrolls that we have, and
Yeah.
teams are still kind of familiarizing themselves. The teams that get a quicker grasp on how their team kind of plays will definitely have the upper hand. So
Yeah.
I would say for teams that don't have a grasp on how their team is doing, definitely branch out as much as you possibly can.
Definitely.
Anything you think can work. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like that's part of why Mist lost. Also because Zabuza and Kisame on the same team, with Kisame having attack +2 is just not working.
Yeah.
It's like two fighters with a defense -1. So yeah, I don't know.
And I'm sorry.
Oh, continue.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Gengetsu
No.
in two lineups, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure he has the worst range combos in the game. Like I
don't know.
I feel like he makes 10-10 look good.
In my opinion, the worst ones are still Udakata's.
Well, I feel like with the buff you gave him,
Like
they're at least
maybe
somewhat
not
viable.
yeah, that's true. I think Gengetsu's are really good. It's just I don't think the AI uses them as well as they possibly can. Because when he was introduced in Revolution, like those combos were really
Annoying.
really kind of annoying and dominating, and they still have that ability where they go through the back of him. A lot of characters were fixed that way, but clearly he's not. So
I think him and
yeah, I
Tamari
don't
are
know.
like that.
I don't know if he's viable for them at this point. I mean, it's a little early to see, but I think their team could do better without him, potentially.
They could have gotten a better free agent,
And also,
like
they're not using
PTS Eno.
Yeah, they could have. And also, I mean, they haven't used May yet in preseason. So
Or Yagura.
I thought Yagura was in this week.
No.
Was he not?
No, it was Haku, Zabuza,
Or Yagura
Gengetsu,
then.
and Kisame.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I know Mist can do better than this though, so
Yeah, they definitely can.
that's pretty much the takeaway.
Yeah.
I was really happy with what Stone did.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
I'm sad we didn't get to their final lineup data in Kidomaru.
I know, I really want to see that.
It'll be the longest match ever.
I hope they use it next week. It really will. It really, really will. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And do you have anything else to add?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that's last week's matches. So I guess we'll move on to questions now.
Alrighty.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, our first question is from Abe1013. In DBZ League, there are Pataras that boost supers, B2s, and ults. In Naruto League, we have scrolls that boost ults, but we don't have any scrolls that boost standard jutsus, aka this game's B2s, such as Itachi's Fireball, etc. My question is, will we ever get scrolls that boost standard jutsus? So my answer to this question is no, unfortunately. I tried to do a Jutsu Plus instead of an Ultimate Plus to begin with, but it was incredibly tedious. And I just, yeah, what we're already doing is already kind of time consuming, and I don't really wish to add more stuff that makes that even more time consuming. as much as I would like it, it would also, I feel like, break the game in a few ways because there are some jutsus that are already really strong.
Yeah, like
And
fireballs are already strong enough as they are. Trust me.
yeah, uh, so yeah, I mean that's my answer on that. It's unfortunate, but that's just gonna how it's gonna be. As for if you ever want to make a jutsu build, then I mean the closest you're gonna get is a chakra plus and chakra saver
Maybe
and
5 elements seal
things like that.
so they can use their jutsu more than their ultimate.
Right, exactly. Or something like Berserker, depending on what their jutsu is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. And his second question is, can characters be modded so that they have access to more jutsus in battle that they may or may not have had in the game originally, or so that the one jutsu that they can use is changed to be a different jutsu altogether, such as Nagato being able to choose one jutsu from all the jutsus the Rinnegan provides. This is getting into intense modding territory,
Mm-hmm.
and again, a very, very time-consuming kind of thing. It is possible to give characters different jutsus, but it takes a lot of time and effort to do that, and to have to do that for every single character in the game would be a big no-no. It's very similar to the first answer that I gave. Um, in a perfect world, sure, I would love to do that, and it is possible, but it's not viable. It's not probable for me to do that. You know, it wouldn't be very efficient, and everything would take even longer.
And
So
if I can add something, uh,
that's
like
fine.
in my opinion, I feel like it would be a tiny bit unfair if a character like Nagato could get all those jutsu, and like other characters like I don't know, like Kiba, he gets absolutely nothing because he doesn't have any other abilities. So in my opinion, I think
Right.
everything should just fine the way it is. Like some characters have different options for jutsus like Water Dragon, Fireball, Lightning Blade, talking about Kakashi, and like different ultimates, but it's not like a
Yeah.
huge list.
No, I mean, I would say the majority of characters in the roster have one jutsu.
Yeah.
I, I would say probably, even if it's a small margin, there's probably more that only have one as compared to ones that have multiple.
Yeah.
And I think it's working out just fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for your questions.
Mm-hmm.
And next we have Nexo Nex.
May I take this
In
one?
the past 2 weeks, yes. Sorry, you may go ahead.
Alright, in the past 2 weeks of the preseason, Aurange has said how several characters have passive boost. Examples are Choji and Gaara have +1 defense passively. Was it noticed from all the testing that was done, and do all characters in the game have some sort of passive boost?
Okay, so no, it wasn't noticed from all the testing that was done. Um, some characters do have them naturally in the base game, such as Miyato just being faster in general.
Shisui.
But a lot of these boosts are ones that I gave myself to characters that it would make sense on. And I made balancing changes to them accordingly. Typically, characters that have higher move a little bit more slowly. This is the case with Gaara and Choji and Han.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of these I just wanted to, oh, well, it makes sense to do this for this character and makes things more interesting and varied. So I'm going to do that. And of course, I talked all these things over with the staff, and it was all fine.
A reason I really like it.
I'll go.
Oh, sorry. The reason I really liked it is because it makes the characters feel more unique. Like, like from the show, the
Yes.
series. Like Sakura, like healers have chakra +1 because they're really good with chakra control and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so do people like Uzumaki's, obviously,
Yeah.
that.
Senju.
And faster characters. Yeah, Senju. Faster characters are just faster. um, Characters that can levitate, have a longer ninja dash. I did that as well. Um, just things like that. I did those myself, just to make it more interesting, and it has made it more interesting. So that's just cool that it turned out that way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And as for all characters in the game having some passive boost, no, not at the moment, but I would like to reach a point where most characters do. I'm just still, over time, I'm going to try to think of more to do.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that's
Yeah.
it's basically all the characters that we tell you about that have something.
Yeah, and it's likely going to just stay those characters for probably the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm not going to be changing any season. It's be a season to season thing if anything does change. And if anything does change, we will let you know. So, yeah. So that's that question. On to our next one. Oh, also, thank you for the question next.
Yes, thank you very much.
Next one from Momijibot. Of the teams which didn't reach the playoffs last season, whom look like the biggest winners
Wieners.
winners and losers coming into the season? It's still pretty early to say, but at the moment, Team Sage definitely.
Oh wait, the teams were Team Sage, Team Hidden Leaf, Orochimaru's Disciples, and Hidden Mist?
Hidden Mist. Did Hidden Mist not make it?
I'm pretty sure they didn't, but I don't know how exactly to check quickly.
I can. Okay. You can just go ahead and answer with your questions, with your answers, Anthony,
right.
and I'll look into that.
All right, thank you. All right, of those 4 teams I listed, which are now Hidden Sound and Team Kakashi rather than Leaf and OD, I feel like out of the 4 of them, right now it's only been 2 weeks, but I feel like Sage is the most likely candidate of going the furthest, but it's only 2 weeks, so I'm not sure if that's even I'm not sure if that answer is going to be anywhere close to correct like 5 weeks down the line. But as of right now, that's where it stands. And the biggest losers out of all of them, who I feel might do the worst, no offense, but I feel like Hidden Sound is looking kind of weak right now. So if they can just like iron out a few things, I feel they'll be really solid. But if they...
Yeah, I think
Go on.
Sound has a lot of potential.
Yeah. They just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, and by the way, it was Hidden Mist. You were right. I think out of the teams, yeah, I would agree with you that at the moment, Hidden Sound looks like the weakest of those 4.
Mm-hmm.
But that can be attributed to multiple factors, like we already discussed for this week. I think they definitely have a lot of power and potential on their team. It's just going to take a bit for them to bring that out. So at the moment, yeah, I'm going to agree, but I'm not going to count Hidden Sound out. Because 1, we're 2 weeks into the preseason.
Yep.
And 2, they have some really good characters on their team. So I definitely wouldn't count them out.
Yeah.
Just because we're saying that.
And I can't, and like...
Thank you. For
thank you. And I'm not gonna, and I probably would have said Mist, but then I realized that they haven't even used 2 of their characters yet, so it wouldn't really be fair to judge
Yeah,
them at all.
exactly. So we have our last question. If you want to do that one, Anthony.
Alright, question number 1 from Pie Guy Reborn. Since preseason is fast approaching its end, what should teams be looking out for in terms of picking I'm so sorry, of an active player for the first trimester? What should teams be thing or doing in I think he means thinking or doing in general as the preseason comes to a close.
I believe so. Okay, so what should teams be looking out for in terms of picking an inactive player for the first trimester? Okay. In terms of what you should be looking for, it's, for me, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Number
have
one.
a character that is not being consistent, then that puts them pretty high on that list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Below that, another thing you should look out for are negatives to that character. If that character has any negatives and it turns out hurting them more than it does helping them, then you could look into that. For example, people like Soigetsu or Zabuza. I'm not saying that you should get rid of those characters in the case of Hidden Mist and Team Taka, but that's another key to that, I think.
Mm-hmm. And if I can add something, it would be like another thing to like pay attention to would be like what kind of builds the characters would use. Say like you have like I'm sorry, I'm really bad at explaining things. All right, like one.
Here, hold on, hold on a sec.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Mind if I keep talking? I'll keep talking.
Sure.
Anyway, all right. So say, all right. I'm looking at the Uchiha banner right now. I'm just gonna say 2 Uchiha characters because I'm having a blank thinking of a character right now. So let's just say Itachi and Shisui. Let's just randomly say they're both like 2 ultimate characters. Like they both are ultimate spammers, and the rest of the team are like defense, attack, chakra, and you just have, and like those are like the only builds that those characters are good on. So to keep using the same scrolls for one character rather than trying to like sort it out unevenly between the two, maybe one of them should just go on the free agent bench for like a trimester, and then bring in the next one and see how they do the next trimester. And then for the final trimester, swap in the one that was using that kind of build the best, rather than having 2 characters using the same exact type of build. And
I'm back.
oh, welcome back.
Thanks.
I just finished what I was saying.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what you said, but
I feel like it was very poorly
I don't want you to
explained.
really. That's okay. Yeah, so that's basically my answer to that question. But his second question is, everyone in Uchiha clan is doing well as of right now. Even if someone were to drop the ball in the next 2 weeks, it would still be a hard decision to pick an inactive. Not boasting. Since we don't have a rep in Endcast, mind giving us your thoughts? I mean, it's really, if someone were to drop the ball, it'd still be a hard decision.
Like, I don't know how to answer this.
Me neither. I really don't know.
Like, I guess, if that character were doing very poorly, put them on the free agent bench.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to narrow that down because there are a lot of different factors that go into it.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, for me, it would be to pick an inactive. I think again, I would say consistency.
Yes.
If you are having, even if your character is doing really well, but they're not being consistent, especially for a team with a bunch of good characters, your least consistent member should be the one that you weed out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's my opinion on that.
And I guess I'll agree to that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you have a bunch of good characters, that's much for it. So, Uchiha Clan, yeah, it's very clear that they're like that, and it's going to be hard for them to choose someone to put on the inactive bench.
Yeah.
And that's probably what they're going to struggle with.
Yeah, if anything, they should probably hope that someone drops the ball the next 2 weeks. It'll be easier for them.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my answer, and I feel like it's the best one I could give, to be honest. Yeah. So, thank you for your question. But yeah, so that's all of our questions for this week, and with that, we can get into our predictions real quick. So, first match next week is going to be Kurenai at Mist. So, what are you thinking about this one?
Kurenai at Mist? Well, I mean, if they're going to keep Mei and Yagura on the bench still, I'd say Kurenai has a huge advantage over them. But
yeah,
not that it really matters, since it's the preseason and Mist is most likely just gathering data on some fighters. So
that's true.
if Kurenai has Gaara and Shino, like even if they're not together, like if they're just in, like I'll give them the upper hand if Mist has both Yagura and Mei benched. But if Mist has at least one of those two in, I feel like it'll be a very close match. But
yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you weren't done.
I was just adding a final thought to it. But I guess if I had to pick who's most likely to win despite any lineup as of right now, I would say I think Kurenai would take it.
Okay. Personally, I think Mist will have at least 2 characters that they've had out so far.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's Mei or Yagura, doesn't. I think they'd have a better chance if it were Mei.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think Mist is going to be changing a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's really kind of hard to say for them, because based off of the last 2 weeks we've had, they've been very different. They're very different performances.
Very different.
Overall. Yeah, even if they lost the last 2 weeks, the actual performances in those matches were completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Kurenai has been more consistent.
Yeah, very consistent.
So, I would say Kurenai. Obviously nothing against Mist. And Mist has home field advantage, so they do have that boost to their jutsus. So, definitely have a chance of winning it. I'm not saying that I don't think they will, but based off of what we know they will do and what they won't do, it's easier for me to guess that Kurenai would win.
Yeah, like Mist is like, it's probably become one of my favorite teams as of late, Hidden Mist, and I would love to see them win and start like kicking ass. But as of, like I said, as of right now, I think Kurenai has the upper hand.
Yeah, I'm really digging Kurenai as well.
Yeah.
I'm really liking this season so far. Yeah. But yeah, so that's
match one.
That one, and our next one
is Guy versus Taka.
Yeah,
and
Guy
Taka's at home.
At Taka.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think Taka's gonna take it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bluntly say that.
That statement. That's not a statement against Guy. It's just Taka looks like they have a lot.
Yeah.
More cohesion going on right now.
Like
and
Bur
Guy is clearly still trying to figure things out at the
yeah.
moment.
Like, Burn is like the best thing that ever happened to Taka after so many seasons of having
Yeah,
a barely around captain.
either an either an inactive captain or one that got kicked from the league or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
God.
yeah.
Anyway, like,
um,
Guy can definitely take it if they like start like, I don't know, like give Guy a better build, like try to fix up 10-10 a little bit, and try using Neji a little bit more. And I feel like that they'll start to be a little bit stronger. But as of like right now, as everything stands, Taka has my vote.
yeah, same here. So we now have Jinchuriki at Sage.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be interesting as well. Obviously, what I would like to happen.
Yes.
But at the same time, this is preseason, so I don't really care if we win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
As for who I think will win, I know what my lineup is. I don't know what Sage's is, but I know what my lineup is, and I think we can do it. I do think we can. But Sage has been showing some really good potential lately.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say who I think will win.
Yeah, I'm the same
Plus
feeling.
Sage is at home.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like it, just like both teams seem like really, really strong right now, so it's really hard to choose. But after the past 2 weeks, like, don't take any offense to this, but I feel like Sage will like pull it out. I imagine it'll be a very close match.
Irby Sage is gonna pull it up.
Yeah, Pervy Sage is gonna pull it out of Jinchuriki. Kushina didn't see it coming.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
There's okay. Yeah, and Kushina is in.
Oh.
Also, she is in. As well as I guess I'll just fucking say who's in. I'm not gonna tell my entire lineup. But I will say who's in and who's not. Okay, so pulling up the lineup right now. Okay, so as for who we have benched, that's Fu, and we have and our inactive we have I am really blanking. Oh, Gara. Okay, Gara and Fu are out.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we got Tobirama, Obito, Kushina, and Naruto. So I mean, Kushina is clearly the strongest point of this lineup that we have so far.
I mean, the other three aren't that bad, but they're definitely not the strongest.
No, they're
I would
not
say.
bad. I think Naruto has the potential to be right up there, but
yeah, I can see
he's
that.
not there yet. But yeah, so I think honestly, with what Sage has been doing lately, I think they are more likely to win.
Yeah.
It hurts me to say that, but it is what I think will probably happen. And I'm fine with that because it's preseason, we're testing, gathering data.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly why I think that it's more likely that they will win because I feel like they have a more solid team going on right now. Just because we completely missed an entire week of data.
Because you're too strong.
Apparently. But yeah, so I think Sage can win it. I don't really mind if they do. I'm happy that they're doing well. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I'll be surprised if we win, but
I also think it can go either way to be completely honest.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's just hard for me to see how strong all of my fighters are overall at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's, and I know how strong the majority of Sage's fighters are at the moment. So
Yeah.
Could very well be them. But yeah. So
Match
if you
4?
had to pick one team,
Oh,
would you
sorry.
say Sage?
Say that again.
If you had to pick one team, would you pick Sage as well?
Out of the two?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sage.
Okay. All right. So match 4 is SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Um,
Follow my
Hidden Sound
SoundCloud.
at Hidden Cloud.
All right, that makes more sense.
Followed by SoundCloud. So yeah, Cloud is at home, and we know from last week that that is Lightning Desert, and that is very small stage, probably the
Yeah,
smallest in the game, I think.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to turn out because Cloud, while they did really, really well last week, Sound has a lot more data than Cloud has.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Sound.
Yeah, Sound. I've seen like the stuff they're strategizing because like Toshiro's allowed me to be like basically an extra supporter in his Discord chat. So I haven't been saying much, but I've been reading, like getting into what they're saying, and I'm really liking the strategies they've been making. But like AI consistency wise, I feel like Cloud will take it. But if Sound Strategies works out, I feel like they'll definitely take it. So I feel like this can go either way.
Well, that's my thing is AI consistency with Cloud. Their matches have been radically different these past 2 weeks, so I don't know. I mean, the potential is definitely there, as we saw. But Sound has had a lot more opportunity to work out those kinks. And you know that they have been really working hard to try to get their team to work. And I think the effort can pay off this week. I think it's going to come down to, however, how well each team utilizes the stage, because it is a very small stage, and you're going to need a constant form of aggression, I feel like, to win. And if there are a lot of ultimates being thrown out that are slow or are just not particularly good from either side and just don't connect very often, it can give the other team a very distinct advantage. So
watch, now that you say all that, Teiyo and Utica are going to be in all three lineups and just range spam the entire match.
Oh yeah.
It's such a small match, they're going to need constant aggression. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see if one of them or both of them is benched, or if they're both in. I think that's going to be a very interesting aspect to this match.
Yeah, let's see who outranges who.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tayuya. At the moment, anyway, because she just seems like she's got
and
a
the
little
puppets.
bit. Yeah, and the puppets. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep my vote for Sound.
Yeah, I guess I'll vote Sound too.
All right. So, yeah. No offense, Cloud.
Yeah,
you're doing really well.
Cloud can definitely still take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just think that Sound has more opportunity to take what they've learned and utilize it here. But yeah, so next we have Sand at Minato. Interesting little match here.
These two have both been doing pretty great.
That is true. Yeah, I guess I would say it depends on who Minato has in.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because I mean, they could pull out Madara and do really well. And it's not like the other members are bad, but
yeah,
I don't know. Sand is really good.
I would love to see Minato use Rin again, but I feel like this would be a bad matchup to use her with since her jutsu is kind of close range, and she needs to be close in to do damage, and her tilt is also very close range. So it'd be a bad matchup for someone
Yeah,
like Kankuro and Tamari. So if they
Sand
do
is
have her,
very
yeah,
good at
countering aggression.
zoning an opponent. Yeah,
So I feel like if Ren were in this week, and she fought them, they wouldn't get the accurate data that they were hoping for.
yeah. Honestly, I think I would say Sand. Just based off of the performance we've seen from them already,
Mm-hmm.
I am very impressed with them. Not to say I'm not impressed with Minato, but I feel like their performances are a little bit more scattered so far. It's harder
Yeah.
for me to see and kind of gauge how their team would do. Sand, we've gotten a full team performance from them
Yeah.
in the first week, and then this last week we got to see Tamari and Gara sweep. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and Minato's home map is not small. It's
Yeah.
a fairly decently sized map. It's not as big as 5 barrier Seal Cliff, but it's decently sized.
Yeah.
So
If
yeah, I think I'm gonna keep my Sand vote.
As for me, I'm also gonna vote Sand. I believe that they are the stronger team right now. I feel like even if they do test, I'll still feel like they have the upper hand because of how strong other characters have been. But it,
Yeah,
but
definitely really impressive.
I feel like the only thing that'll drag them down is if their team compositions just aren't working together good.
Yeah, I think that's true. I personally, I'd still give it to Sand. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm still
so
giving it to Sand too.
yes. So we have an interesting one here. One that I'm really not sure who would win
Ooh.
this. Kakashi at Hidden Stone, which
I
is Sulfur Stone Temple.
I honestly feel like the teams are like very equal, despite like Kakashi
Yeah,
losing the past 2 weeks. But I was just about to say that since Stone has Data, I'd give him the upper hand, but Kakashi also has Tenten, who I feel like could be a counter towards him. So now I'm still not sure who to vote for.
yeah, that's true. Kakashi has been doing, even though they have not won yet, they've been doing well,
Yes.
and they haven't swept like Stone has. But I feel like there were several factors as to why Stone did sweep. And
Yeah.
to be fair, I use that as part of an argument for Sand, even though there were several factors as to why Sand did sweep.
Yeah.
But we have additional information in the case of Sand backing up Tamari's performance and Gara's performance. Uh, whereas for Stone, that was the first time we ever saw Onoki.
Yeah.
And the first time we ever saw Datara with his tilt disabled. So
And they
I
were
don't know.
fighting Gengetsu and just missed.
Yeah,
That did not seem to be at their best.
exactly. What you could say for Hokage as well, but
Yeah.
um, honestly, I think Kakashi could win it. I really do. I think this could be that they win.
Yeah, I was
Look,
leaning on Kakashi too.
yeah, because they've been looking progressively better and better,
Mm-hmm.
and these past 2 weeks, the first week was not. It wasn't amazing, but it was still a good performance. And while Kakashi versus Kurenai uh, was, I mean, Kurenai had. I feel like Kurenai did better than Kakashi. Obviously, they won,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like Kakashi did step it up from the previous week.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, it does depend on who Kakashi brings in because Sasuke, he doesn't have much data right now. There's not much on him. We know how PTS Naruto does,
Yeah.
which, by the way, I don't know. I don't know about that attack plus two. because he was taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, maybe an
Um,
attack +1 would be perfect for him.
yeah. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kakashi. Um, Honestly, I don't really have a preference for which team I want to win. I just want both teams to do well and get data. But as for who I think can do it, I'm gonna say Kakashi.
Well, I'm biased as fuck, and Kakashi has 2 Sakuras and a 10-10, so, suck it, Stone.
Yeah, I mean that's as solid as an argument as you can get.
I know. Alright, so
But
yeah, my vote goes to Kakashi despite that comment.
yeah. Okay, so match number 7.
Oh,
What is it?
Uchiha at Hokage. I'm sorry, I had some trouble there.
It's okay.
Don't fire me.
Honestly, is it really? I mean, Hokage's got some really, really good characters. I just don't know if they're gonna bring them in against Uchiha.
Yeah.
And Uchiha, we know how strong they are. So,
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, it's not a hard vote to go for Uchiha as for who we think will win. I would like to see Hokage win because that would be a nice boost to their morale. I mean, they won the first week, but after last week, it would be nice
Yeah.
for them to win.
If
Yeah, but as for who I think will win, it's Uchiha for me.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be different. I feel like if Hokage,
Yeah, you don't like Uchiha.
shut up. If I feel like if Hokage can disable like some like Boruto stuff and like maybe give him 5-element seal, maybe I feel like they can pull an upset
Mhm.
possibly. And I'm not just saying this because I hate Uchiha.
Oh yeah, I think Hokage could do it. I just think personally for me, there are variables. It's very dependent on variables.
It's gonna be a really
So
uphill battle. That is for sure.
yeah, I think I think Uchiha has a more solid chance of winning. That's not to say that I don't think Hokage will win. But it's just clean cut. I think Uchiha has a higher chance of winning.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm not saying this because it's Uchiha. Again, I'm saying this because I would love to see an upset, and I really like Hokage. So I'd really like them
Yeah.
to get their stuff together, maybe try out some new stuff, and pull out a win.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our last match here, which is Team Asuma at the Akatsuki.
Alright. I'm going full test mode this week, so Akatsuki gets my vote hardcore. Because PTS Shikamaru is in all 3 lineups, he's on a defense build, 5-element seal, and Asuma and Yamato are also in, which means our 2 star players, Ino and Choji, are sitting out, and this is just not a strong team, and we're gonna lose hardcore. But as long as we can decide as long as we can decide which Shikamaru is better, that's all that I really care about.
Yeah, I mean that is one of the big things. I feel like because that's still kind of up in the air at the moment.
Yeah.
Let me look at what Akatsuki's home is. Okay, destroyed Hidden Leaf Village.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would give it to Akatsuki as well.
Yeah.
Since you are going into test mode, Akatsuki has gotten a lot of data from these last 2 weeks. They lost both weeks,
but still.
But they have gotten a lot of info.
Yeah.
A lot. Probably out of all the teams so far, I think Akatsuki is probably the team that has gotten the most info so far.
Have they even used Toby and Conan yet? They used Toby.
Yes.
They haven't used Conan yet.
No, they haven't used Conan, which Yeah, I
Is
mean that's kind of a point against that, but they could use her this week.
but at the same time, from what
I,
we've all seen, Conan is pretty solid enough.
yeah, she was in the contention match at least, so
Yeah,
that's something to go off of.
and the
Um,
exhibit exhib I'm sorry, I can never say this word right. Exhibition matchups she was in. I
yes,
think she was.
that as well. Um, yeah, I mean Akatsuki, like you said, we haven't seen Konan preseason, but she was solid in the contention match. So I think Akatsuki can win it because what they've what they've done on all their fighters so far, a lot of a lot of chances to see what works on their characters and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Like
So
compared to my team composition is probably at its like weakest at the very moment, and Akatsuki, I feel like most of their combinations would be very strong regardless of who they pair with who. So I feel like they have
yeah,
a huge advantage.
yeah, and they have at least one team pairing that they know is pretty good, which is Toby and Payne.
Oh yeah, that is like definitely their best so far.
Yeah, and I mean Kakazu's looking good, and
Mm-hmm.
Hidan's looking better than before,
Yeah.
and they can take what they learned from Nagato's performance last week, and one, probably not put him in every single match,
Yeah.
and two, try to disable his tilt, hopefully. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, Akatsuki is looking. They're looking more solid now, so
Yeah.
I think I think I would. Yeah, I'm gonna give them my vote to them.
Yeah, they were set back with the loss of Itachi and Kisame, but I feel like they're really like pulling the rest of their stuff together with what they have.
Yeah, I feel like they're right on the threshold of getting back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the predictions, and that's the end of this week's Endcast. So that
Yay.
was, yeah. I mean, it was just you and I, but we pulled through it pretty well.
And I hoped everyone liked the video icon.
Yeah. I hope you've really just taken the time to absorb that and just keep it in your psyche forever because I sure have. I sure have.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for joining. Oh, by the way, we agreed on almost every single prediction except for Uchiha versus Hokage.
Wait, we what?
We had the same prediction for
Oh,
every single
we
match
did.
except for Uchiha versus Hokage. Yeah.
God, we're such a hive mind.
Not a perfect hive mind though, so gotta
Yeah.
step it up.
Yeah, you
Gotta
do,
agree
really.
with me more. No, no, fuck you.
Kill yourself. Sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. All
No
right.
more league then. But yeah, so thank you for joining us, everyone. And I know this was a little bit shorter, but hey, it's just the two of us, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you all next Friday. Actually, we are going to be streaming yet again, and
Yay.
streaming week 3 of preseason. Yeah, so I hope you're all excited for that. I can't wait to for that. And yeah, thanks for joining us again, everyone. And goodbye and good night.
Toodles.